These are the two most iconic boots of all time. So let's just get into it. All right, so as far as the fit and the sizing and the comfort go, I'll start with the Timberlands. These boots, a lot of people say they're true to size. I'm an 11.5 and it's true to size. I got in a pair of these in 11.5. I had to go down a half size. I had to send them back. It was pretty annoying. I probably could have even gone with a 10.5, to be honest. I don't think that would have been a big deal, and I've never said that about a pair of boots before. The 11 is good though, it fits fine. So with the Doc Martens, starting off with the sizing, I got a size 11. It's fine, it's a tiny bit big, but I definitely couldn't get a 10, and there's no option for a 10.5. So here I am with a slightly large shoe. The upsides of this shoe, it's really light, a lot lighter than the Timberland. A lot of people are gonna like that. And the sole is really, really comfortable. Much, much softer than the Timberland sole, if that's something you're going after. It's sort of like walking around in a pair of sneakers in a lot of ways. So if you're someone who wants to get a pair of boots, but you don't really like the feeling of clumping around in boots with or even soles like a Timberland, this is a good option. Downsides, not so great arch support, and in general, it doesn't contour the foot or the arch quite as well as a Timberland. All right, so what's the verdict? Which one is actually the better boot? Look, they're very different boots, I'll admit it. They do have quite a few things in common though. They're both cultural icons. They're both relatively close as far as price goes as well. The Doc Martens is cheaper, but still. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run through the pros and cons of each boot, comparing them to one another so you can make up your own mind. I'm gonna start with the Timberland. A big pro that this boot has is that it is fully waterproof and fully insulated. It's a lot friendlier in colder weather. If you're up in the Northeast, if you're in New York City where I live, this is more functional in that regard. And overall, I would say it's just a tougher pair of boots. There's more going on in the sole. There's better grip on the bottom as well. It's gonna be more useful in icy conditions or wet conditions. So certainly it has a lot more versatility as far as the environments in which it can thrive. I do want to emphasize that. The arch support is also better. The downsides with the Timberlands, they are more expensive. The leather is super hard to keep clean, which is funny because I consider them tougher boots. Like, I think they can withstand more damage. But yeah, the downside is this leather, this nubuck, it does accrue stains and spots very easily. And the other main downside of the Timbs is that they're pretty chunky, you know? That's probably not gonna be a downside for most people, but again, if you keep slimmer fitted pants, yeah, they can kind of stick at the bottom like big boats, so you need to sort of move your fashion around the Timberlands to a certain extent. The pros and cons of the Doc Marten, meanwhile, really quickly, it is cheaper. This leather is a lot easier to manage and take care of. It doesn't get stains really easily. Also, the sole is nice and soft, and it does feel closer to a pair of sneakers than the Timberland. So if that's a feeling that you're after, the Doc Martens can probably satisfy that. The downsides of the Doc Marten, it is unlined. It has no shank. It doesn't contour the foot as well. The leather's pretty thin. It's single stitched in a lot of places, whereas the Timberland has like quadruple stitches on most of it. And generally speaking, I think the Timberland is more rugged. It's more tough. It can withstand more damage. All right, those are my thoughts on the Timberland versus Doc Martens, the two most popular boots out there. I tried to keep things pretty objective, but in my pretty subjective opinion, I think the Timberlands are tougher. They can work in more environments and also more outfits, I think. The Docs, the sole is a lot softer. It's more sneaker-like, so that might also be a priority for you. If you want to see the full written review, by the way, it's in the description below, and make sure you subscribe because I got a ton more boot reviews and comparisons and tips coming up.